I've encountered a couple of clients recently who really need some assistance with executive presence. And so I've been refining my program to help them specifically. And I found that there's a lot of information about executive presence, but a lot of people don't really understand what it is. They might think that it's only about how you look on video or if you speak at the right pace and with the right composure and say the right things or don't say too many times. And those are really important things. But at the core of it, it's really about three things. The first one is character. And with character, that's where we find people with great presence really connecting with authenticity and with the way they include other people and the way that they just sort of connect with their whole life. But it's the DNA of who they are, and it's exhibiting that character and that uniqueness in a real way when they present. So we see all the time people that are really, really cool in their personal lives and can have a great one-on-one conversation, but maybe because of lack of confidence or maybe because of their behavioral style or maybe just purely lack of practice, they don't really seem able to knit together their confidence and who they genuinely are with the way that they present themselves and communicate. So that's one really important component, which is character. And the next one is really about substance. And substance is kind of the aggregate makeup of who you are over time and how you become what you are. So it comes with a lot of practical wisdom. It comes with a lot of applications of intentionality and really deciding every day to do certain things in a very precise way to exhibit who you are on a values level to the rest of the world in your work, whatever that work is. It can be entrepreneurial work. I'm really fortunate that my work is very, very close to my passions and what I love. Often my work is really blended with my hobbies because it's so close to the substance of what makes me up. And also my work is very close to my practical wisdom and my experience. But in a lot of people's case, I think they disconnect because they may be working for a corporation or a big company and don't necessarily see how they can apply those details within that. But that's a really important part of presence, executive presence. And so if they can find those threads, or even if they can get help or assistance creating those threads, it actually may dramatically increase their positive experience at work, their ability for other people to see them, their ability for them to see themselves, and also their opportunity to find meaning and purpose in what they're doing because they've drawn these connections from their character and substance to where they are at a moment in time at work. I think that can happen anywhere. It just depends on how you approach what you're dealing with. Or in the worst case scenario, if it really can't happen, then that's probably a big red flag and signal that you need to start taking a look at what you're doing and if you need to move ahead to something else. So that's a different conversation. The last of these three things is appearance. So, that's the one everybody thinks of when they think of executive presence, but I look at appearance again a little differently. I think it has to do with your tone, your pace. It can even have to do with just being respectful of the other people in your space, understanding where they are emotionally and intellectually on a given day, and trying to sort of pace yourself to their pace a little bit, and then reflecting the way that you feel in your substance and your character with what you wear. So taking sort of the core nature of who you are and putting it on your body, if it's jewelry, if it's accessories you like, if it's in lipstick or makeup or just great clothing, great shoes, great socks. Everybody has their piece. But in most cases, when it's an intentional part of executive presence, it's put on the body very, very intentionally. It's not, I accidentally wore the brown shoes today. It's, I intentionally wore the brown shoes to go with this suit, to go with this presentation because I'm trying to communicate this message. So in that case, appearance does knit back to these things like pace and how you perform and if you present well and the details of how you execute an opportunity to communicate, but it's more about reflecting who you are. And the other nice slice of that is it's not just about how other people see you, but it's also about you putting reminders around yourself or on yourself that exhibit your commitment to who you are in your absolute core nature and your values. You're walking around with the values on your body. So that's a pretty cool thing, and just a very gentle and soft reminder of where you're coming from a heart-based perspective, and what you need to find meaning and purpose in your job every day. Even it's a little secret reminder to yourself. So those are the three things that I kind of put at the center of executive presence. It's really about character, substance, and appearance, and knitting those things together. And then within each of those, there's a lot of different tangents, right? The details of presenting, and the details of communicating well, and the details of getting along with different personality types. Those are all subsets. So that's kind of the piece for today.